okay, here's the truth. It sucks. But I'm not gonna lean into the how much it sucks.
No, I'm
Personally,
not either.
I feel like there's still tremendous opportunity for this offseason. Maybe not as look, the path, here's what it is. The path to the successful rebuild isn't as obvious or easy had they won the lottery, but it's still there. It's still there. You can't, like the whole, I mean, part of this is the tank crowd is pissed, but this is the problem with tanking.
There's no guarantees.
There's no guarantees. It's a percentage play that even then, the percentage of getting a top 4 pick is just barely over 50%.
Yeah, but you still want to have as high a draft pick as possible. So the bright side is, well, they're at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been worse. It could have been 6 or 7, but they're at 5.
Yep.
So are there good players to be had at 5?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Are there good players every year to be had at 5? Oh, yeah. So this comes down to a question of trust. Do we collectively believe in Weave? Is this what this is about?
I mean,
This is a
big part
testament
of
to
it.
how much the fan base trusts the general manager of the Detroit Pistons, Troy Weaver.
Well, we don't have a whole lot of reason to believe or disbelieve in him yet. He's been decent, and last year their move was sort of obvious, but you can't screw that up. I don't want to take credit away from him. He didn't. It doesn't appear that he has screwed it up. So there's that. But there's a lot of resources to get better. A good GM can take what the Pistons have here and take a big step forward, regardless of whether they're picking 1 or 5. Because it's not just that. Again, I'm a broken record. It's a ton of cap space, and it's a tradable asset. And, we'll, as we work our way through this news and the ramifications of dropping to 5, we will get to, what they should do with said cap space and the tradable asset. But look, Troy Weaver said it weeks ago. So this isn't convenient for him to, hindsight analysis. He said weeks ago, I like 7 guys in this draft. I like 7 guys. And that was before the season was done and before we knew where they were going to draft. He liked 7 guys. So it sounded to me like his line was drawn at, like he didn't want the 8th pick. Now, at where they ended up playing, or when they ended up in the lottery, they actually couldn't finish with the 8th pick, but he liked 7 guys. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but so 5 should be good, right?
Should be.
In his view, before he knew where he was picking, we knew the range of players that he felt comfortable in selection.
Now, did he say that because the worst they could pick was 7?
No, he said it way before that. That was my point. He said it way before
but,
that.
I mean, you knew this team was.
He knew where they were going to be
Yeah, where
bad,
they're
but they were. Remember, down the end of the season, we were watching games because we wanted them to be in one of these top 4 spots, and there was a chance they wouldn't finish there. But with that said, if you look at the recent draft, and I went and found a list of like the top, and it wasn't just one list, it was a bunch of who are the top players in this league under the age of 25, and how the league has drafted and developed, with basically shooters. I mean, guys that have to be able to shoot or get to the rim. You don't need the big plotting big anymore. But in recent draft history, if you look at all the best players under the age of 25, about half of them, in fact, I think it is exactly half of them. If you look at, Doncic and Trae Young and Jason Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Bam Adebayo, et cetera, et cetera. If you look at the list, half of them came at 5 or later, okay? Now, so it can be done. Each draft is different, and I suspect there'll be a great player available at 5. It's the Pistons' job and Troy Weaver's job to vet him out. Now, what I did notice is that guys 5 or later are generally guards. Like the ones that have blossomed are wing players. They're perimeter players. They're not the bigger guys, which is fine. Okay? And so we're looking at Keegan Murray from Iowa, who just gets buckets inside and out. He's got good size at 6'8". He actually shot it, although not a high volume perimeter shooter. He shot 40% from 3. I always worry about Iowa guys defensively because Iowa and Fran McCaffrey in that system, they don't play a ton of defense. But Keegan Murray is a decent prospect that I could see blossoming into an NBA star. Maybe not as obviously as some of the guys in front of him. Jaden Ivey could be there. He could be there. There's plenty of mock drafts that have him there at 5.
ESPN's mock draft.
He's a bouncy, get to the rim and finish kind of player.
Very athletic.
Not the greatest perimeter shooter, but he's not an embarrassment from out there either.
No, but you can work on that.
And you know, I hate to compare him to anybody in the league, so I guess I'm not going to do it. But he's really athletic. I mean, he's a get into the air. He has no shot, so he'll hang there an extra second and find a way to get the shot off. The wild card in all of this is Shaedon Sharpe. I feel like Shaedon Sharpe, and as we move further and further, here's my prediction. Okay, I'm going to make I don't know if it's a bold ass prediction, but by the time we get to the draft, one of us will be fully endorsing Shaedon Sharpe as the pick, and it's Kang, and it's because of the way that he is wired. Why did he want Chet Holmgren? Not because he knows Chet Holmgren's going to be an elite player, but because he's got a skill set that's so unique that he could be a special player in this league. Why did he want the quarterback the Niners took?
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. I kept thinking Trey Young because we're talking NBA. Trey Lance. Why do you want Trey Lance? High upside, wasn't really well defined, but you could see how he could be an elite player. And Shaedon Sharpe is the wild card here. He's a guy who's straight out of high school.
Yet he didn't want Malik Willis.
No, he didn't.
Didn't have the same conviction.
No. But here's the thing about Shaedon Sharpe. Number one high school player, emerged, went to Kentucky as a mid-year enrollee, wasn't going to play, and loopholed his way into the NBA draft. But this is a guy who, you know, when he dunks, he's got to duck so he doesn't hit his head on the rim, and just seems to have
he can
huge
shoot.
Upside.
Apparently he can shoot.
Apparently. But with that said, I'm fully convinced that'll be your guy by the time.
You think that's what's going to happen?
I think it's exactly what's
It could. I mean, I'm open right now. I'm breezy. You know, I had my heart set on Chet Holmgren, like you mentioned, but that's probably going to be a very distant long shot unless some kind of medical red flag pops up and he falls to 5 or even further. But with that, let's just say he's fine. He goes in the top 3 like we all expect. Yeah, I'm open at this point. I mean, I was a big early on Ivy. Right now, I'm doing my research on Sharpe. I mean, I knew about Sharpe, but he didn't play last year.
Right, there's nothing to look at.
So, you know, you just go through what he projects to be, which we do a lot, but this is more so because there is no tape of him in the last year. And Sharpe, you're right. He's got an amazing, huge upside. He's a shooter. For anyone that doesn't know what he plays like, I would give him comps of, these are high comps, okay, of a Devin Booker, Paul George. Really smooth stroke. He's a 6'6" guy, so he's about in between the sizes of those two guys. People describe him as athletic. I don't see the crazy athleticism. He can hang in the air, though, and he's not explosive, I'll say that. He's athletic, but he's not explosive, if it makes any sense. You know, I think
Like
Jaden
Cade
Ivey
Cunningham?
is explosive. Cunningham is, yeah, they both can. Well, I think, no, Sharpe's got more athleticism than Cunningham. He
I just
can
wanted
get
to put
above
it
the
out
rim.
because
He's more athletic than Cunningham, but he's not
Yeah.
like the most athletic. He's not going to win any dunk contest necessarily, but he can shoot the ball. He's got NBA size at 6'6".
is he more like Grant Hill?
Sharpe?
Yeah.
No. I mean, he's definitely he's a better shooter. I mean, this guy can shoot NBA. He's got NBA range pretty much already.
All right, 248-539-9797. There are other things that we right now, by the way, if the pick was in, who would you want of those three? Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, or Shaedon Sharpe?
I mean, I'd probably be Jaden Ivey because I was hoping that they could get in the top 4 and that he would be my 4th. So I'm going to stick with that. I'll stick with Ivey. But I could be talked off. There's no way.
I hear you.
I'm not honed in on this at all.
I'm in that order too. Ivey, Murray, Sharpe, and I can be talked into any of the other positions.